in the Angels club, you got Mike Trout.
Really?
Yeah.
Superstar?
You think? Mike stretched?
That ball got out of here really quickly.
It's 111 miles an hour.
Such a short swing. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So back-to-back pitches, Trout and Ohtani last night.
Threw a fastball right by him and came back with a breaking ball that he then hit a
109.
bomb with.
So Trout is at 441 on base, slugging 659. Ohtani, I'll give you his OPS plus, 100, his league average is 125, but he's not exactly tearing it up. But he is pitching, to your point, Bill, he's pitching to a 3.08 ERA as well, and he's one person.
I will say Trout's already sitting here with a 2.2 WAR after a month.
Yeah, just if they could be healthy for a season and doing this again. They're in first place, looking great. Ohtani.
So Mike Trout's WAR is higher than the entire Cincinnati Reds team.
Is it really?
Yeah.
This is the strength of 30 men, is what you're saying.
Well, it goes to show you is that when those two guys are healthy, and you get what you're getting out of Ward right now and Walsh, this is Billy, it's a really deep lineup.
Well, and Rendon with the game winner the other night with his knock. I mean, let's not forget when the Nationals won the World Series. Rendon led the entire planet,
yeah, good
right,
call. Yeah.
of ribbies and got that big contract with them. And I would still argue if Rendon's right, the three of these guys, there's probably 20 teams that would trade their best three for those three.
Yeah, good call.
To bring them into the middle of their lineup for one season.
It's just, and they're actually pitching okay, and their bullpens perform middle of the pack type, but that's all they probably, BK, need to do with this kind of offense that they're running out there.
You think? Yeah, well, as Houston starts to play better, I don't know. Again, I didn't see Taylor Ward coming like this. I mean,
he was
he's
the number one pick.
He's the best hitter in the league.
He was
right
the number
now.
one pick. He may not sustain that. He's sitting with a 244 weighted run created plus right now, so he's probably not going to say. But again, this guy was a number one pick, so you got to give credit for them. He was a catcher that they converted to an outfielder. He's an above-average athlete. He's a good-looking player.
Yeah, Joe Adell isn't doing much. Imagine
he's in AAA right now.
Yeah, he got sent down
too, right? So,
yeah, but Marsh is sitting with a 126. This is a really deep lineup, man.
Yeah, and you have Ohtani as the MVP. So you add the pitching and the hitting, and he'd be.
If
MVP
he makes
again.
20 starts and it's 25 homers, I think by definition of the new thought process, because I'm still in the thought process that the MVP should be coming on a team that's in contention. Because I think there's value to
this
that.
year they
and
would
they
be.
might be.
Yeah, this year.
But the idea of Ohtani, he's going to do what no other player in baseball does for the next 10
no
years.
other player in baseball can't. They don't have the ability to do that. His ability separates him from everybody else.
Which means if he
let me ask you this question,
stays healthy.
Let me ask you this question. If
Yes,
Mike
sir?
Trout continues on the pace that he's on,
Right.
but Ohtani hits 25 home runs and he goes out and he has an ERA in the mid-twos. I mean, a really good number.
Ohtani's the MVP.
He is, huh?
I like the way you're thinking. It's very analytical. What you're thinking right now. WAR does this. There's a pitching WAR and there's a hitting WAR, and the hitting WAR actually they take a lot away because he's a DH. It's unfair actually because he's also pitching, but he's a 1.1 right now, Ohtani in WAR if you combine it. And last year, if you used his run expectancy or win probability, if Ohtani is doing both well, it's not close.
So what happens if Trout has a higher WAR than Ohtani, and Ohtani is doing both those things, but it's not like a huge separator? So if Trout ends up at the year, let's say, with a WAR of 7 or 8, and Ohtani is in that 6.5 to 7 range, then what do you do?
8 wins. I mean, WAR is an approximation. It's 7.7 and 7.8.
All right, but see, I'm not going to think about it the way you're thinking about it. Yeah. I'm just telling you, if Ohtani's a number 2 starter, pitches like a number 2 starter all year long, and hits 25 home runs, a 2-starter and 25 home runs is better than everybody else in the game.
Even if the hitter is great, even if Trout
is like unbelievable.
Well, Trout's got to hit 380. He's got to hit 40 homers. He's got driving 130.
380. He's got to.
So he's got to have a Willie Mays season, which is possible.
I mean, Willie Mays didn't hit 380.
To your point, but he's being, he's being coldly analytical, saying add up the overall value.
I didn't use one of those terms that you used.
Yes,
because they were just.
No, I'm describing your thought process.
I'm just telling you, if Ohtani pitches,
you have gone to the dark side.
Negatory, Big Ben.
You have gone to the dark side.
If Ohtani pitches the way he can pitch, and he hits 25 home runs, he's the MVP.
Oh, come on.
He's
25 home runs does not constitute a good offensive year, though.
He's going to hit 25 and drive an 80, and he's going to hit 300.
And he's going to have to do a lot more to hit 300 because he's digging out of a deep hole to hit 300.
He's going to hit 25, drive an 80. He's going to, if he hits 280, and he hits 25 and drives an 80, and he pitches 25 starts, and throws to a 3 ERA, that's the MVP. And it will be for the next 8 years.
And I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying it is coldly analytical.
I don't agree with them at all.
Ruthlessly efficient, so looking at a guy who's just above league average on both.
If Mike Trout goes out and hits 325 and he's got 35 bombs and 120 RBIs, he's the MVP. His performance singularly is better than those two performances added up.
No, I don't think so.
I know.
I know you're saying if he's a great position player, and he's saying, but he's only a good position player, but a good pitcher, but add them both up, he's actually great. He's right. I'm afraid he's right. We've ruled. All right, we have a capital one.
There's a lot of gray area in there.
No, we have a